Three, two, one, let's go.
Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of the CFTV preview show. This time we are previewing the game against Burnley. I am not in a spin studio this time, so I'm back home, so it's a little bit easier to record, which is nice, Kev. I mean, good to see you, mate. How are we feeling? We just beat Brighton, then we went on and won another game, two on the trot. I'm forgetting who we just beat, Kev. Who did we just beat? What? This is what happens when you rush into it. You just forget everything. Oh my God, Kev. You don't remember?
Start again. I'll just start again. Fulham.
That's it. Oh my God. No, I can't. We're not starting again, Kevin. We're not starting. The people want raw footage. So listen, guys. Even though all I talk about is Chelsea and all I do is follow Chelsea, I still forget some of the results sometimes. You know when people just pull out these goal times and this happened this minute and I remember what happened at this moment, and they just know exactly at the back of their head what it is that they want to say, and it just comes out. I feel like I can't always do that. It's difficult to do that, Kev. I mean, but yeah, man, listen, let's stop thinking about the past. Let's look at the future. How are we feeling going into Burnley?
We was in the same position 2 weeks ago when we had Forest at home and we could have gone 3 on the bounce and we flopped. So as much as I'd like to feel confident, I'm not getting too carried away with the performances. I just want consistency. I just want us to go and beat Burnley, which is more than a winnable game. There's no excuses for us not to take the 3 points. Okay, they've changed their style of football, but player for player, we've got a better team. Just want to go us to more than anything. Just want us to go out there, put a good performance on for us, and get that confidence going into the Arsenal game after the international break.
100%, man. I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, it's a perfectly winnable game. I like if there is a game. I know we said we should beat Luton and teams like that. I think Burnley is the easiest out of the lot, to be honest with you, because Burnley try and play good football, mate. They don't go out and set up with a low block. They try and pass out from the back. Vincent Kompany seems to be very rigid with the way he wants to set them up. It's a case of listen, you're going to play my way, win or lose or draw. It doesn't matter what we do. You have to go out there and try and play good football. So it's not really something that's worked well in the past, if we're being brutally honest. I think a standout team for me would be when Fulham got promoted, and I remember they spent loads of money when they came up, and they were terrible. They went back down straight away. They were one of the worst teams in the league. This was about 4 years ago, and I mean, I was just really not impressed with what I saw from them. So to see Burnley doing something similar without spending the money as well. So, it seems like, company is being backed, but not in this case of, massive financial signings. I just can't see them staying up, Kev. I think they're going to finish bottom. I think it's an easy win.
Sheffield United, not bottom. I think Sheffield United.
I mean,
I think Sheffield United and then Burnley or Luton. You put them personally.
I mean, it's between Sheffield and Burnley, isn't it? They're both poor sides. Out of all of the teams in the bottom that have just been promoted, you would say Luton are probably the most likely to stay up.
Yeah. Well, they've just got a massive win against Everton last week. 2-1. Who would have thought that? I think they've got the better of the 3 teams. Let's be honest. With Burnley, they try and play good football, which you've got to give credit to Vincent Kompany for trying to do in the Prem. They absolutely smashed the Championship to bits last year with that style of football. Now they've come in to the Prem and trying to mix it with the big boys and do the same thing. And testament to what they want to do, really. But you've got to know to mix it up. You've got to know, with the team they've got, you can't play that style of football against the Cities and your Arsenals and the better teams. You've got to probably play a low block. He's just going out trying to play against all teams. And that's just going to leave him exposed to players of better quality. And Championship to Prem, there's a big difference in the caliber of players you're playing against. So personally, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for our players to score on Saturday if we can finish chances. And after what I've seen on Monday night with Broha, pinnacle. That's what we needed. We haven't had that in the team all season. Mudryk got on his goal scoring sheet as well. That will give him confidence. If I was the manager now, Charles would be saying, this is your time now to get 2 on the bounce. You won't get a better opportunity now to get 2 on the bounce than Burnley away. So hopefully the Posh has given him the confidence saying, look, this is a game where we can go and get 2-3 if we play our cards right.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think we can get 3 or 4. I just don't see why that's not possible. Football is a game of confidence. It's also a game of momentum, and who needs it the most? And Burnley just came off a win. They beat, let's not forget, they just beat Luton in the league as well.
Yes. Tuesday.
So Burnley are coming off of a high, and I think when you're a relegation team, I think a lot of those teams perform well when their back's against the wall and they really need those points. And, you could argue and say, well, they always need points, right? Until you get to 40, why should you be satisfied? But as far as I'm concerned, they're looking to win the games against teams they're actually competing against. And we are not the same Chelsea we were last season. We are not competing with Burnley. Let's just make that crystal clear to everyone. I said it at the beginning, and to be honest with you, my faith slightly, I was thinking to myself, maybe I have got it wrong here, but from the past 2 results, I'm sticking by it, people. Top 4 Champions League football, and you have to. I made the call, and I'm going to stick by it, and I might be wrong, but I'm seeing positive signs here, and I'm also seeing signs of other teams that are going to struggle up top as well. We spoke about Arsenal and Newcastle at the beginning of the season not being used to the congestion, obviously, with the Champions League fixtures. So I do think that later on in the season, that's going to have an impact. And you look at Man United as well, right? I mean, they're in a worse position than us because they were set up to win now. I think, we can look at Chelsea and comfortably say, listen, it is a process. And I still believe it's a process, by the way, even though I think we can finish right up there. I do still think it's a process. But for the Man United to be similar to us right now, that is a disaster, right? Because you've got Casemiro in his prime, you've got Fernandes, you've got Rashford, Onana. All of these players are bottling it, and they're in their mid-late 20s, some of them early 30s. And we've got boys, some of our guys are teenagers, mate. So I don't see how Chelsea fans can look at Man United and not feel good about what we have, because at least our owners are investing into the club. You can say what you want on how they're investing and why they're investing, but they are, right? So yeah, I'm calling it straight away, Kev. I'm going 3-0 Chelsea, 3-1 Chelsea. Very, very, very confident going into this one. I see no reason not to comfortably beat Burnley, no matter what system we play. I mean, how do you think Pochettino is going to set up for this one?
He's going to go with the same formation as he did against Fulham. Consistency. With the 4-2-3-1. We've been crying out that for the last. It's no coincidence that we've gone back to the 4-2-3-1, and we've started picking up points again. When we went with the 5 at the back, just didn't look like we was going to score. Too defensive. Now it seems like the players in the right position. Okay, Enzo's not playing the 10, but I think as the game went on against Fulham, he dropped deeper and deeper, and he was the trigger man. So he was the ball carrying midfielder. I think on a couple of occasions, you've seen him running through the middle of the park. He's getting a lot of time with the ball. So he's got to go with the same 4-2-3-1. Personally, I probably wouldn't even change the team. I'd probably just go with the same team if you can. Keeps his consistency with the starting lineup as well. Gives him the confidence. And like I said, there's no need for us to panic. If we want to go and be a top 4 team, like you just said, got to beat Burnley away, and that's the benchmark for us now to get that. Like I said a few weeks ago when we was talking about Nottingham Forest for the last international break, and we lost. We've got to go you got to think psychologically. It plays a massive part in your brain, knowing that you've just come off going into a 2-week break again. You just won your last game against Arsenal. The confidence that brings into the squad coming off that, going into the Arsenal game is massive. If you've just lost, it leaves a bad and a sour environment. That's so, you know, it's only a couple of weeks ago that lads are booing the fans are booing the players off the field against Bournemouth. It's amazing what 2 wins in the bounce can do. Everyone's calling out Conor Gallagher as the best thing since sliced bread and everything else. I don't get carried away with a lot of it. Just go and beat Burnley away. Just go and do what Chelsea have always done, is beat the smaller teams. And maybe in a few weeks' time, I'll be like, yeah, you know what? These players deserve the credit of the game. But if you can't go and beat Burnley away, no chance will I be getting excited. That's just a standard procedure, getting the 3 points against a team of that caliber.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, if you're really competing for top titles, you expect to beat the big teams, but as a bare minimum, you've got to beat the teams in the relegation battle. So I have to agree with you there, Kev. Let's talk about Broha, and let's also speak about Jackson as well, because obviously Jackson's, it was very good for us in pre-season, started the season off well, but people still think that he lacks that goal scoring threat that a striker should have. He links up well, he does a lot for the team, there's no doubt about that. But he needs to do more in terms of scoring goals. And obviously, Bro has come in, scored straight away against Fulham. Providing Broha is fit, I mean, would you start him again ahead of Jackson, or would you start Jackson, or maybe even play them together?
Broha again. I'll start him again. For me, Broha has got the experience. He's got experience at Southampton. He's got the experience last season of us. The differentiation is that Jackson hasn't got the experience in the Prem. And whoever thought he was going to come into this Chelsea team and hit the ground running and score goals straight away, he was obviously on another planet. Guy needs time to adjust. This is not the Spanish league. In the Spanish league, it's nowhere near as physical as what the Prem is. You're going to get more time on the ball. In the Spanish league, you could literally back into defenders and turn. In the Prem, they're not going to let you do it. So he's obviously had to adapt his style of football to suit it. And it's going to take him time. He's got all the potential to be a top striker. He chases the ball down. He's hungry. He's a big, strong lad. He's got all the potential to do it. But this needs time. And this is what I come back to what I said a few months ago. We need another number 9. But Broha has come in first 2 games and scored. So that's given me confidence now that we've also got another. I didn't think he'd come in and do a job straight away, and he has. And I've always backed Broha. I've always said he's the next big thing for us, from when he was born at Southampton and when he had a little stint last year. The guy's got hell of potential and he can finish. There's no doubt about the guy. He's got all the ability, and now I just think he needs a run. So if he got dropped for Jackson on Saturday, I think that'd be the wrong thing to do. He's just gone and scored against Fulham. Start him again. Maybe give him 60 minutes to bring Jackson on. At least then we've never had competition, and that's what we need now. We need competition, 2 strikers pushing each other. If one has a bad game, you can drop him, bring another one on, and he just pushes them on to better themselves.
I like it, Kev. Yeah, I mean, we always seem to be very rigid with our strikers. We were rigid with Havertz. We were rigid with Morata. Some of these strikers that we've had in the past, mate, and they were just hopeless. You could never see anything from them. But I have to say, both of these strikers give me hope. And when we are talking about a process, I mean, that's all you can ask for, isn't it? Hope, because at least hope is still a positive feeling. There's a lot more that we have to see from a lot of these players, but some of them are already producing straight away. I mean, Cole Palmer's coming to this team, and to be honest with you, in a lot of ways, Kev, he hasn't put a foot wrong. But we played him on the right-hand side against Fulham, and then we played Gallagher as a 10. I mean, do you agree with that? Because I know Gallagher was very good, but I still think that if you want to get the best out of Palmer, you play him as a 10. But then where does that leave a player like Gallagher? So it's a bit of a tough call for Poch.
Gallagher had an astonishing game against Fulham. Also, but the guy was absolutely everywhere. And if you're a statical kind of person, he's got the best stats for us this season. Winning balls back, one-on-one draws. His the season have been the best across the board for us. So it's testament to him. I didn't really, at the start of the season, we talked about him against West Ham. and I never really believed he could do it. But he's showing everybody that he can. But it's finding the right position for him. Is he a number 10? No, he's not. I think Gallagher's a number 6. He's number 8. He's straight, not even number 6. He's just a number 8. He's a centre midfielder. He's someone that you play off of Enzo. You play him and Enzo. You let Gallagher do all the pressing. Enzo sits and just keeps the ball. So I understand why Posh is probably starting him number 10 and Palmer on the right, because he's probably trying to fit them both into a team. But it's coming to a time when then Kinky's going to come back. Where's Gallagher going to go with them when you got KSI and Enzo? So difficult choices to have when everyone's fit, but a good selection headache to have for Posh, because at the end of the day, he's got players that are going to be fighting for positions. You've also got players that are decent enough to do jobs on a weekly basis. But if the question you come to me, would you start Palmer or Gallagher? It'd have to be Gallagher, because as much as Palmer's got potential, Gallagher's Chelsea through and through, and he's going to fight and battle for the badge on a weekly basis, and that's what you want from your players.
I think Palmer will as well. I understand it's not the same for him, but you come in, you sort of make an impact, don't you?
Yeah. But like I said, Palmer can play across the three. This is the thing. Gallagher can play only through the middle. Palmer can play on the left. He can play on the right. So if you want to fit him in, you can put him on the right and put Gallagher through the middle. But when and Kinky comes back, that's when it's going to get a bit sticky then, because where you're going to play Palmer and Gallagher. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. For now, just let's play them all, keep them all on the pitch, and just as long as they're doing the right thing and winning games, they're doing a good thing.
And I guess Mudryk starts on his own, doesn't he? I mean, we don't really have to explain that one.
Oh, they're less covered. End of the day, he needed that goal on Monday, and hopefully it pushes him on now. You can see how happy the fans was. You can see how happy the players was. Especially the players. Look how they all went around him. Everyone's over the moon for him, because that guy's worked hard and he's had a lot of stick. But for anyone that thought that he's going to come in and start smashing goals and straight away was stupid. Everyone in this team needs time, and time's in our hands, because I'm not expecting anything this season. You're probably got a high bar set than me. You probably think we're going to get top 4. I don't think we will. I'm just expecting us to move in the right direction from last season. That's all that counts for me. Last year 13th place was unacceptable. If we go and get an 8th place this year, it's better. That's a good season for me. It's just moving in the right direction.
It is a good jump. I just think that you have to look at the manager that we have and the team that we have, and I just think Poch is capable of pushing these players. I mean, I read a little segment. I can't remember what it was on. Maybe it was Talk Chelsea or something like that. Just to do with how Poch is enjoying, the idea of working with these young players, and Mudryk is obviously one of the key ones, based on how much we paid for him and the player that we've seen he can be at times. And it's nice to know that we've got a manager who's relishing those opportunities rather than just asking, can I have more? Can I have more? Always looking for another investment. I think we already know that Poch is going to be backed again, right? I'm reading that Clear Lake and Bowley are looking for another investment, right? Another loan. And that's fine as long as it's for the here and now. But the problem is, if we're spending another 400 million on young players, then I'm thinking to myself, let's be real, Kev. That's just stupid, isn't it?
No, we need experience now. I like the players that we bought in. I like. Don't get it twisted. I think we brought in some world class potential players, and they're going to take time. But what we need now is Thiago Silva's coming to the end of it. We've got Gallagher, who's our captain. Is he a leader right now? Obviously, we've got James and Chilwell. They're going to come back into it. We just need some experienced players, as you can see by Newcastle's model. Newcastle have got more money than us in the bank. But have you seen them completely take the whole team out? No, you haven't. They've got rid of a couple players, and they've kept all the players. Even a couple players from the Championship are still playing, like Jamal Lascelles last night. Captain, he's been there since there was in the Championship. They haven't got rid of the DNA of the club. They've kept the players with the heart and soul, so they can bring in younger players around them and mold them into a system, mold them into a team. You can't just expect to do what we've done and win stuff. And this is why you're seeing Newcastle beating PSG, because the players have been there from day one, 4 or 5 years. They've been there. They know about the club. So we need to do something similar to what Newcastle have done, and we'll start seeing success. You can't expect to buy under 25-year-old players and win stuff because it's not going to happen. We're not. I can't even see us. We'll probably be pushing for the top 4 in a couple of years, but we're not going to win anything. For us to be a winning team, you got to have the whole lot. You got to have players that have been there, done it. You got to have players, youth players. You got to have players that have got Prem experience. You got to have the whole lot. You can't just have youth players under 25. So let's see what happens. But it's good news so far.
Fair enough, Kev. Let's just finish off with your score prediction. Obviously, I said 3-1. What are you saying?
Ooh. I'll take another 2-0. I don't think Burnley have got anything in the locker to score against us. Like I said at Fulham, I think we'll do everything to get the clean sheet. Clean sheets is what gives confidence, and the third clean sheet in a row is confidence. And I think if the more we're solid at the back, is the more opportunities we're going to get at the other end. So I think it could be a 1-0. I'd say a 2-0 Chelsea. It's got to be 2-0 Chelsea.
Sounds good, mate. Well, listen, guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of the CFTV preview show. Always a pleasure if you've watched this long. Let me know if you agree with what myself or Kevin have said or disagree. And maybe we can have a little debate in the comments section as well. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And we will see you very, very soon. All the best, guys, and up the Chelsea.